Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. We're on episode 9, and in the last episode it was a very happy, cheerful, go-lucky kind of episode until the very end when we came back to a house that was ablaze and Mob found some charred bodies inside there, thinking that they are his parents and possibly his brother as well. Now, I don't think that it is. I'm just kind of in that stage of refusing to believe it is until it's really proven, because Mob hasn't really gone to this that kind of level yet, and until it actually does, I'll have no reason to believe that it is. Really, what I think it is sort of bait to get Mob to go to to head towards Claude again, whether it's for avenging what had happened with Claude the last season, so they want some sort of payback on Mob to bring him there. Then I don't know if that is the case or not, but I truly believe that that's it's not his parents. We know that Sho was the one that was, whether he was actually sent there or not, I don't know, because we know that Sho actually does have this sort of personal thing with Ritsu and seems to only care about Ritsu in that regard, so I don't see any real reason as to why he would feel the need to take out the parents or anything like that, but I think he was probably sent there under the terms were to bring back Mob. Mob wasn't there, but Ritsu was. So instead, for his own personal reasons, obviously he took Ritsu and the parents and set it up to look like it was Mob's parents that actually was burnt alive inside of here. So that Mob would go crazy and come of his own accord. But yeah, I mean, it's taken up until this episode to get back to the Claw stuff, which means that we've only got, 4 episodes of this. Everything, pre this in Season 2 hasn't been about that at all. And if you've been watching me and watching my post discussions and everything for this show, you know that I'm like, when's the Claw stuff going? But it looks like we're getting there now. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. I was going to say going there. Mob is going mental, and yeah, I mean, let's see just how mental he goes. I don't think he's ever been privy to something so traumatic. So this could be insane. Anyway, yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, so we're just going to get in episode 9 and see what we get. Of course, the link is in the description below to watch the reaction, the 10-minute reaction, but if you do want to watch it in full, you can do by going over to my Patreon and becoming a full-length tier patron, and watching the full thing uncut and unedited. And also, you after this, you'll be able to watch episode 10 immediately if you become an early access tier patron as well. So yeah, go and enjoy that if you want. But yeah, that's all I've got. So yeah, we're going to get in episode 9 and see what we get. Without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 9, and once again, another episode where I'm like, well, I didn't expect that to happen. Mainly because, fuck, I just feel like the episode moved so quickly. Well, not really the episode itself, but within an episode, I feel like so much changed. At the beginning of this episode, we still were unclear as to what the whole fire thing was about, and the bodies. Mind you, Dimple did come out literally right from the very get-go, and one of the first the first thing that was said the entire episode was that they're dummies. Now, he said later on, or well, Reagan had asked later on if he had lied about it just to keep Mob from really going all out, because otherwise he would have just been left to his own devices, and God knows what would have happened, because obviously he went into the sort of whatever the fuck is inside of him that takes over in those moments would have just run rampant and just rampaged throughout the fucking whole city. Probably just blowed all the hell up. But yeah, so Dimple's really good. He's such a good guy, isn't he? He really is. But yeah, so it said that he did lie, kind of, but he has reason to believe they are dummies. So I guess the idea was that Dimple didn't know what, he wasn't 100% on whether they were dummies or not. He was only thinking about Mob in that moment and trying to not let him go mental. But yeah, there were reasons to believe that it wasn't his family at first, and we got the answer anyway, because apparently Sho is helping out as well. He's on our side now. And I just never expected it to go this way. So yeah, the parents are out on some vacation thing, right, a holiday thing. Fantastic, enjoying their life. Meanwhile, it's all fucking going down in the city. And it's kind of just Mob that you have to feel sorry for them, because he's the one that's out of the loop. He's found, like, his parents don't know what's going on. They think they've just won a holiday, so they're enjoying life. Ritu isn't getting through to Mob. Like, you can't get him on his phone or anything like that. And I mean, that's the thing is, Ritu knows, like, that this isn't going to be good for Mob. Like, he's going to come back and he's going to think the worst. So there's that. But Sho was the one that did create the fire, and he did it. And actually, I got it right. Kind of. I didn't get it so right, because I thought that Sho might have still been a part of the Claw sort of regime. Like, I know that he was like more of an independent kind of character from Claw, because he kind of said all of that kind of stuff at the end of last season. And it was pretty obvious that he was more like independent, but I still thought that he was still doing things kind of for them a bit, and I thought that this was the same. But I was right in saying that it was like sort of like a deterrent for... No, not a deterrent. It would be the opposite of that, wouldn't it? It would basically serve as a way to get Mob angry and essentially come at Claw. So because obviously getting him angry, because Sho had basically figured out that Mob wasn't going to fight unless something royally pissed him off, something that actually mattered. So yeah, that's the reason why he set the fire up. I mean, it's a bit... it is fucked up, just using somebody that way, but it's crazy, because I never thought. I mean, the 7th Division, one thing, because now they're on our side, but you've got Sho as well, and then basically from this one episode, we got introduced to the leader, which, I mean, we heard on the phone, I think at the end of last season when Sho was on, talking to him, but since then we haven't seen anything of him, so we got fully introduced to him, what he looks like. He looks very bland for the leader of Claw. He looks like just a dude. But yeah, Suzuki, I think his name is. So yeah, we got introduced to him. He's declared war on the whole fucking world, so that happened in this episode. The psychic powers are now pretty much in the public, so the public know about it. We got introduced to these things called the Ultimate Five. the only name that I wrote down was Serizawa, and that was the guy with the umbrella. And the reason why I only wrote down him was because he was the only one that actually had a previous appearance before, and that was obviously earlier on in this episode. And Dimple pointed it out, and I don't know why. I don't know how he is aware of it. Like, how is he aware of what that is? I mean, I know that, with Dimple being a spirit and whatnot, that he may have, I don't know, they would, if they could have crossed paths in some form or fashion in the past, but I don't know. I'm sure it'll come back anyway, because Dimple pointed it out, so there's that. And the Prime Minister was taken hostage by the fifth sort of member that we were introduced to, which I didn't write down the name of. But I don't know if there's a specific leader of the Ultimate Five, or they're kind of just their own thing, or what. But it seems like he's the most capable, and the most worrisome in regards to an opponent, because he can't see, and I'm wondering if it's a case of similar to Hunter x Hunter with the whole condition thing, that maybe he got rid of his eyes purposefully so that his other things are more powerful, and somehow that works. I don't know, because I think that's the thing with the psychic powers in the show, that they don't really explain it, or how really expansive you can get with it, because even the guy that was able to just fuck up electrics and whatnot, and change them around and whatever with his psychic powers, even he doesn't know how it works. So it's they kind of just throw it out there into the, it's just oh, it's just psychic powers, that's just what it is, they're just capable of that kind of thing. So so yeah, I don't know if that's how that guy, like if he got rid of his eyesight so that he could be powerful in other aspects. But he's blind, but he can predict people's movements anyway. Um, Bullets don't penetrate him. I don't know if that's just he has like a very thin but very strong like psychic shield around him at all times or something. I don't know if that was the case, because obviously you've got, I think you've got to take into account this thing again, like going back to like a hunter analogy, is like the whole Nen thing against somebody who doesn't have Nen. Like the you know, you can't really be hurt by physical attacks when you've got like a Nen barrier up or whatever. Like there's something there where that could be a thing, you know, like because a bullet is, you know, a physical object, maybe it just can't penetrate through the psychic magic. So it could just be that, and he can also teleport. So I don't think it's just he's insanely quick. I don't. I mean, that's what Tereki was saying. He was saying that, like, oh my god, he's actually that quick, but I think he can literally just teleport. But then again, you kind of, I suppose there's a case to be made for, is teleporting just being insanely quick anyway, you know? Like, as opposed to, like, if you were to, like, see it from, like, a diagram's perspective, like, disappearing here and appearing here, is it just that you cease to exist at this point and automatically assume position here? Or is it that it's just too quick for, like, you know, any perception at all, like moving from here over to here? Because technically, I suppose teleporting could just be seen as just like, oh well, you actually are moving in that direction. It's just that it's insanely quick, and you can't perceive the you know, that he is moving that fast. But the only thing with that though is the fact that Tereki put up these shields, and that guy still managed to get inside of it. And I don't think that is speed related, because it doesn't matter how fast you are. You could be like the fastest thing ever to exist ever, even faster than light or whatever. But because I guess if that's what the case is, you would have to be faster than light, right, to perceive it as being as teleporting. But but his brain, like, he would have to think, oh, what is he doing? He's setting up a shield. I need to go there. The amount of time it would take for him to think to get in there before he put up the shields, I don't think it's fast enough. Like, yeah, you can be fast in physical space and whatever with your, you know, teleportation or whatever, but thinking about that kind of stuff takes time. And at that point, the you know, the shields and whatnot would have been up anyway. So I think he can literally just teleport, and that's just that. Maybe we'll get more like insight on how it works, but you know, I wouldn't really hold my breath, because they don't really go into details to how things work in the show anyway. So, you know, there's no point holding the breath. So yeah, I think at the beginning there as well, when Mob went 100%, that it said obsession. So is that like one of the emotions that he let out, like that obsession of you know? I think it was, because since he was in that sort of state, he was constant. Like, the only thing he cared about was finding out where his family was, you know, and everything that like sort of told him that no, we're not going there, he stopped. Like, even when he was picked up by Claude and whatnot, as soon as he heard that he wasn't going to see his family or anything like that, he completely stopped the car. Like, he made like a psychic wall that the car flipped up on. It was great. So yeah, I think it was obsession. That's great. I like how they're getting into these emotions that aren't just on the surface clearly anger or fucking or sadness or happy, and you know what I mean. And like it's like drifting out to these different things that allows him to sort of be, you know, to change things up from the last time that he went 100%. So that's good. So that just opens up, like, the next time he goes 100% could be something completely different. He managed to use a psychic sort of sonar wave as well, which, yeah, even Dimple was like, well, I don't know where the fuck he learned that, you know, and that goes just hand in hand with, like, what I was saying before about how they don't really explain the powers in this show or how they really develop them or anything like that. The only one that we can really, like, kind of, well, not really, but you can kind of get a grasp on is Tereki, because he has this ability to just learn other people's powers. Like, he's using the whip thing that the Badger dude has. I call him a badger dude because he looks like one, and his hair is like white and black and everything. So he was using them. He used them again this episode. He used the pyro, so the fire that he learnt from the claw member that he fought back in last season, and also used the explosion thing as well that he learned earlier on in this episode as well. So he's the one where you can be like, all right, well that's how he got, that's how he learned that power, because he just takes it from other people. And whether he just learns the technique and there's some kind of technique within learning it or whatnot, I don't know. But I mean, that's how he does it. How anyone else gets their power or how they sort of train it or learn it, all these different techniques, I have no fucking clue. So there's that. But yeah, I wonder how he like determined where. I guess he just sent out the sonar wave and just found people who were clearly psychic, and he was just like, right, I'll go to them and basically force them to tell me where my family are. I guess that must have just been what it was, because I don't think there was any real thinking in going. Stop saying going, man. In Mob's mind, it's because they're two like 3-letter fucking 3-letter names. Just fucking God. Anyway, so yeah, Claude was responsible, but I did put down Claude not was Claude not responsible, because I guess at the point where you had Claude members basically saying, "What? It wasn't us," we were just sent there, and when we got there, the house was ablaze anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, turns out that they are. It's just that a lot of Claude members are just deciding to fucking, they're just kind of doing their own thing, or they've left, or they've turned. Like we had the foreigner squad that decided to go on a mutiny, that they were in sort of cahoots with the government and whatnot. Or were they in cahoots? And no, they were just trying to like take out and sort of do their own thing. But yeah, it just seemed like everyone was just against Claude at this point, And until like the Ultimate 5 showed up, it just seemed like I don't know how Claude really fights against all of this. But I mean, with the likes of Show on your team as well, fucking hell. I just feel like everybody on Mob's side right now, like all of them together, like including Show, it's just gonna be like that's a hell of a squad we've got building up right now. So, damn, it's crazy. And yeah, other than that, we've got the Prime Minister who's been taken hostage. So, if there was any sort of real reason to doubt this whole thing about the psychics taking over the world, well, I think this will probably, I think this really hits that nail in the coffin. And then the public knows now. The public knows. So yeah, I don't know if it was just broadcast across Japan or it was the whole world or whatnot, but I don't know. I mean, the only real thing we've got about anywhere other than Japan was the foreigner squad, so who knows. But yeah, I mean, that's all I've got. We've got I love the fact that they're all just taking like under Reagan as their master. It's the same reason like when Reagan came in to the 7th Claw, or the Claw 7th Division's like headquarters, and he sort of walked in and he just sort of talked his way into being like this like amazing fucking person, when he doesn't have any powers or anything. He just talked his way into it, because that's what he's good at. So and now he's got all of these fucking underlings at his disposal. It's great. But he wanted to call the police, as Reagan would do. I think really I would like to think that Reagan's doing it because he doesn't want Mob to get involved in this kind of shit again, considering how dangerous it was last time. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, that's all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. If you do want to go watch episode 10, you can do right now by going over to my Patreon and becoming an early access tier patron. You can also get full length to this episode and that episode as well if you become a full length tier patron, and it'll be uncut and unedited. There's also other tiers there where you can pay to have me react to a show as well. So if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. All the links for that is down in the description as well. And there's also a link to Discord as well. So if you want to join that, then you can do. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.